And the funny thing is, I think sometimes even some of the big brands out there, they play a cruel little joke on people just to kind of like laugh in everyone's faces for how easily people are fooled. Because, I mean, it just might be a coincidence, but if you think about it, right? Evian, like Evian bottled water, backwards is naive, right? Because maybe the bottled water industry is laughing in our faces for getting us to pay for a free resource that no one even owns. Like, who owns water? Water should be a free resource. Because pretty soon, if you say you can bottle up water and charge people for it, there are going to be companies that are going to try to charge people for clean air in polluted cities like Shanghai or some of the most polluted cities in India or whatnot. And they'll probably name that clean air, the bottled cup clean air, they'll probably name it like, I don't know, Lufu or something, which is you fool backwards. So the people that buy naive bottled water Evian will also be the same people that buy Lufu air. So it's almost like so ludicrous at the point we are now where people's consciousness and awareness have just not been awakened yet. And I do believe in this concept of universal consciousness or karma or whatnot, because you hear so many people talk about it, right? You've heard Oprah talk about how she was obsessed with the color purple, and that's all she thought about all day. She bought like a dozen books and gave it to her friends, and she never acted before, and then one day she got a call, and then all she ever thought about was being in that movie, and then one day she got a call and was asked to be in the movie, and you hear the same thing like happened with other famous people like Jim Carrey. He wrote himself a check when he was a struggling, poor comedian in Canada. He wrote himself a check for $10 million because he said one day he would be in the movies and that's how much money he would be making per movie, and eventually he achieved that. So I do believe in that. But the problem is that there's also the people at the very top of this food pyramid, right? The bankers that control all the governments. They also have a consciousness too, and their goal is to keep people asleep. So they don't want you to be awake. So the big money does not want you to know where they're throwing their money behind, what causes. Think about if you knew that big pharma, the big pharmaceutical companies and their lobbyists were behind the Obama healthcare bill. How many people would support it? Do you know that the lobbyists authorized up to $150 million to spend up to $150 million when this debate was going on to engineer and release commercials that supported the healthcare bill? So obviously, Big Pharma is the one benefiting from Obama's healthcare bill. It was sponsored by the pharmaceutical lobbyists. So that would make you question, are the citizens really benefiting, or are the pharmaceutical companies benefiting from this bill? So people knew, who was benefiting from every single piece of legislation. If they knew that big money, basically were the ones controlling politicians, judges, wars, education, and I didn't even mention media. If you think about media today, right? They're the ones controlling TV stations, so reporters should be required to wear like logos from who's controlling and funding basically the nightly news report every night, and the misinformation that they're spreading around the world. If you think about music today, I've talked about this too. I'll put it in the video description below. My other videos I made, entitled about a series entitled The Empire of Illusion, because you look at music today, the lyrics have been so dumbed down, and the purpose is to dumb people down and to keep them asleep, and not to have them awaken on a greater level of consciousness. Take Love the Way You Lie by Eminem and Rihanna. Just like, listen to some of the lyrics. Just going to stand there and watch me burn, but that's okay because I like the way it hurts. Just going to stand there and watch me cry, but that's okay because I love the way you lie. I mean, who wrote those lyrics? A banker? It's crazy. It's getting people sing this stuff. People are saying, I love the way you lie. So they think it's harmless, but I'm telling you it's not harmless, because that kind of message gets burned inside your brain. So then you begin accepting lies as the norm, and like they say, oh, I like the way it hurts. So, you can go ahead and burn me. You know, that's what bankers want to do. Yeah, let us come rape and pillage your savings accounts and steal all your wealth. But think about back in the day what the lyrics were like, right? So think of Bob Marley. You know, you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So now we see the light. We're going to stand up for our rights, right? You think Bob Marley would ever sing a song like "I Love the Way You Lie"? It's crazy. It's ludicrous. But that's why I'm talking about people are walking today, but they're like zombies. They're sleepwalking. They're not awake. And they're not awake because they don't understand the money flow. So that's why it's almost, you know, like a lot of this video, the ideas are tongue in cheek. But that's almost what it would take to wake people up, is to get the corporate sponsorship of everything that goes on, of politicians, of media, of singers, of actors, of education, of educators, professors, of judges, because there's money backing all these people and all their behaviors and all their actions, and people don't see that, so they support people they shouldn't be supporting. They support institutions they shouldn't be supporting, instead of just thinking for themselves. And that's the key. That's the key here, is use your brain, because the people in power want to kill your brain cells and want to tell you what to believe. And most people don't even realize that the majority of what they believe, you know, you go back to that Bob Marley lyric, you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. I think you can actually fool the majority, like 90% of the people all the time now. And that maybe 10% of people are awake, you know, but hopefully by understanding the reasons why we're asleep, we can begin to awaken as a group. So again, I made this video just to make you think, so I hope it's made you think. Please post your comments below, pass it on to your friends, and until next time, so long and have a great day.